So the number one tip or strategy is to deal with your grief head on and to purge it, because it won't go away unless you process it, right?
Yeah, and you know, everyone is going to be impacted uniquely.
Right, and how long does it take to get through it, typically?
And that's a great question. The thing is, there really is no set timeline. So for somebody, it may be a matter of months before they're feeling better. For others, it may be a matter of years. As long as they aren't experiencing unhealthy behaviors, that's just the natural rhythm and the process that they're going through. I think for partners to know that it will be different and to respect and support each other in the differences. And then as family and friends, we're fearful. If I ask you how you're doing, or I tell you that I'm sorry for your loss, maybe you're going to cry. Maybe it's going to make it worse. And yet we found that, yes, you may cry, but that actually feels really good, if that makes sense, because somebody has noticed. Someone has said that this child was real, that this loss was real, and then they're support and they're normalizing the grief, and in essence you're giving them permission to grieve.
You know, pregnancy is such an exciting time, no matter what your age or stage, and if you lose a baby at 9 weeks or if you lose a baby at 19 weeks, the pain is the same, isn't it?
Well, certainly, again, there's uniqueness there, but the studies show that there doesn't seem to be any correlation between the duration of the pregnancy and then the intensity of the emotion or the duration of the emotions that you feel. And that can be really confusing for, I think, family and friends, even the people going through it. There's certainly, I think, of someone recently who reached out to us, and they lost their child shortly after they found out they were pregnant. So they were very early along in the pregnancy, and they were a bit confused, like, why am I feeling this so strongly? Well, it doesn't erase that this was a child, and their child will not be delivered now.
What are some of the signs that you really need some help if you're not kind of getting over it? I mean, I would imagine depression is probably a huge issue in this too.
Right, absolutely. I mean, if somebody was showing signs of depression or anxiety, if they were feeling like they need a drink every night when they come home to cope with the emotions, right? So if you're starting to see unhealthy behaviors that are there, and I think sometimes just the feeling that you're stuck. So maybe you're having trouble sleeping, trouble eating, trouble getting through the day, and this is lasting for longer than a month. That's probably time to reach out to a professional and just have them do an evaluation and see if maybe there's some complicated grief or something else that's going on.
In your research and studies, have you found that women who get pregnant within 6 months or a year after a miscarriage tend to do better in their healing process?
That's a complicated question. I don't know if there's a study that would tell us that or not. One thing, though, whether that pregnancy occurs shortly or maybe a period of time, is there tends to be a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear. So you talked about how, right, we get excited and we're anticipating a joyful time. But for those who have lost a child through either miscarriage or stillbirth, sometimes that's a very anxiety-ridden time. They're fearful that this is going to happen again. It can actually interfere with the bonding of that child. So certainly the doctor was talking about, right, that's part of the importance as the child is developing. And so that's another reason to, if we can, to really work through the grieving process so that we can enjoy and alleviate some of that anxiety and fear.
Well, let's talk as we conclude here about some of the resources available and where people turn to get more information, more help from Life Perspectives.
Absolutely. So if there's a man, woman, or family member who is impacted, we'd love them to visit our website, miscarriagehurts.com. That's a great place to start, and they can do that anywhere at any time. Perhaps someone knows that they need more than a digital resource. There are two really excellent organizations. I know there's more, but there's two of them that we really recommend in San Diego. One of them is Empty Cradle. It's emptycradle.org, and there are support groups throughout the county that men and women can take advantage of. And then maybe somebody is thinking, maybe I'm stuck, I need a professional. Postpartumhealthalliance.org has a great list of therapists.
We will have all of those website links on the KUSI website. Michaeline Friedenberg, President and founder of Life Perspectives. Thank you so much for
thank you.
sharing information with us this morning. Appreciate it.